We've got exciting news about Sheikh Hamdan that will make you smile. A few days ago, on December 23rd, 2023, Sheikh Hamdan shared a lovely animal video on Instagram. The video shows a dad bird taking care of his baby birds. The bird is called an African jacana. This father bird takes care of his babies from the moment they hatch 2 days ago. These birds have big toes that help them walk on water. In the video, when the dad bird senses danger, he usually gathers and hides his babies. But this time, the babies are too far, so he sends a secret signal. Something amazing happens. The babies stop and stay still. The dad hopes they don't move until it's safe. Once the danger passes, he collects them. But one baby is still frozen underwater. Finally, the baby hears the dad's call and moves towards him. They reunite with their dad in this sweet video. Sheikh Hamdan compares the dad bird's love and protection to his own role as a father. He has 3 kids and loves them equally. The video shows how a dad protects his children, just like Sheikh Hamdan does for his family. As we watch the video, we see a special moment where 2 baby birds face a tough situation. This is like Sheikh Hamdan's twins, who sometimes have challenges with their stepmom, Sheikha Tani. Although Sheikh Hamdan loves all his children, the video highlights the difficulties his twins encounter within a blended family. Sheikha Tani, Sheikh Hamdan's first wife, steps in as their stepmom. The video subtly explores how Sheikh Hamdan protects his kids from family issues that may arise. It's a touching story about the struggles of blended families and how a dad tries hard to keep his children safe. When we look into Sheikh Hamdan's family life, we see the ups and downs of relationships. The challenges faced by the twins in a blended family show how important understanding and kindness are. Sheikh Hamdan's dedication to protecting his children shows how much he values family. In this video, we're going to explore the life of Sheikha Hind Al Maktoum, the main wife of Dubai's ruler, Sheikh Mohammed. She has been with him for nearly 50 years, a time filled with many changes and big events. While some of Sheikh Mohammed's other wives left under dramatic circumstances, Sheikha Hind has always been there, raising their 12 kids, including the future leader, Sheikh Hamdan. Her life has been fascinating, with a huge wedding and growing up in a traditional way. We'll look into what her life is like and what it tells us about her role in the royal family. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we dig into her story. Let's begin. Let's go back to February 12, 1962, the day Sheikha Hind Al Maktoum was born. She came from a very important family in Dubai, the Al Maktoum dynasty. Growing up, Sheikha Hind lived in a palace surrounded by her family's traditions and culture. It must have been quite different from most people's childhoods. Here's a fun fact. Sheikha Hind and Sheikh Mohammed, who would later become her husband, were cousins. Even when they were children, their lives were already connected. Imagine being Sheikha Hind, growing up in a palace and getting ready for a life important to a whole country. Stick around as we continue to explore her life story. There's a lot more to share. Let's talk about a really big day in Sheikha Hind's life, her wedding to Sheikh Mohammed in 1979. Imagine being just 17 years old and getting married in a huge celebration. Sheikh Mohammed was a big deal then, leading Dubai's police and defense forces. Now think about a stadium built for 20,000 people just for a wedding. There were horse and camel shows and even planes doing tricks in the sky. And guess what? This wedding cost about $100 million. It wasn't just any wedding, it was like a big party for all of Dubai. Imagine being Sheikha Hind, so young and stepping into such an important role. This wedding was more than just a celebration, it was a sign of big changes in Dubai. Stick around as we learn more about how Sheikha Hind handled this big change. After her big wedding, Sheikha Hind became the First Lady of Dubai. But let's think about what that really means. It's not just a fancy title, it's about taking on a lot of important jobs and living up to people's expectations. Imagine having a new baby almost every year. That's a big responsibility, especially when you're part of a royal family. Sheikha Hind showed how strong and dedicated she is by doing this. And there's more. She also looked after foster kids, showing that she cares for many children, not just her own. This shows us she's kind and caring. Sheikha Hind keeps a low profile and stays away from the public eye. This tells us about her traditional values and how she prefers to do things. So, as we talk about her life, remember Sheikha Hind isn't just any First Lady. She's a key figure in one of the fastest changing places in the world, balancing her family life with her public role. Life as the First Lady of Dubai wasn't always easy for Sheikha Hind. Along with all the good times, she faced some tough moments too. Think about this. Her life was more than big parties and being a royal. She had to face some hard times as well. One of the saddest parts of her life was when she lost her son, Rashid. Imagine how tough that must have been, especially when everyone is watching. That takes a lot of strength to get through. But her story isn't just about the hard times. It's also about how strong she is and how she stayed true to herself and her traditions, even when things got tough. While Sheikh Mohammed's other relationships were always changing, Sheikha Hind was always there like a rock for her family and for Dubai. Let's think about what it means to stay strong when life gets hard. Sheikha Hind shows us what it's like to keep going, even when things are tough. As we keep talking about her life, remember that her story is not just about being royal. It's about a woman who faced both good and bad times with courage. Stick with me to learn more about her incredible journey. Let's talk about how Sheikha Hind has made a big difference in Dubai and beyond. She's not just important because she's the First Lady of Dubai, she's done a lot to help her country grow. Take the 10 million meals campaign she led during the COVID-19 pandemic. It helped provide over 15 million meals to people who needed them. That's a big deal, and she even got an award for helping so many people. But there's more. Sheikha Hind really supports women getting more opportunities to achieve great things in the UAE. She's helped make it possible for women to have a bigger role in making the country better. Think about this. Sheikha Hind might not be on TV a lot, but what she does really matters and changes things for many people. Let's keep learning about her and the good things she's doing. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. See you next time. We always talk about the lives of famous and powerful people, and today we've got a really interesting story for you. It's about Sheikh Hamdan and some big changes in his life. But first, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you won't miss any of our videos. We're going to take a close look at Sheikh Hamdan's life, especially after his divorce from his second wife, Hadi. This happened because Sheikh Mohammed, a very important person in his life, made the decision. It's a big deal because it changed a lot of things in his family. So let's get into this story together. We're going to find out about the secrets and the behind-the-scenes happenings in Sheikh Hamdan's life. It's going to be like we're exploring a hidden world of a very rich and powerful family. Let's get started and see what we can find out. All right, let's talk about Sheikh Hamdan's family life. I want to share something interesting about royal families like his in Dubai. The personal life and public role of a royal are really connected. When Sheikh Hamdan married Sheikha Shaika bint Saeed bint Tani Al Maktoum in 2019, it wasn't just about them getting married. It was also about their families coming together. In royal families, marriage is about more than just love. It's about traditions and power joining together. We don't know a lot about Sheikh Hamdan's private life with his family because they keep it pretty private. But we do know that family is super important for someone like him. You might be thinking, how does he handle being a public figure and also take care of his family? That's a tough one, and we can only guess, but it's clear that being a royal means handling a lot of responsibilities, and balancing family life is a big part of it. As we look into Sheikh Hamdan's life, let's remember that there's more to being a royal than just a fancy title. They have their own personal stories, challenges and relationships, just like anyone else. So let's keep that in mind as we learn more about him. Let's talk about something you probably know a lot about: social media. I'm sure some of you have checked out Sheikh Hamdan's Instagram. It's full of cool stuff like his adventures, work, and sometimes bits of his personal life. But here's something to think about. Unlike other famous people who post a lot about their lives, Sheikh Hamdan is more private, especially about his family. This is pretty normal for royal families. They share some things but keep a lot of their personal life to themselves. For someone like Sheikh Hamdan, with so many followers, every photo and caption is chosen for a reason. It's not just about what he shows us, but also what he doesn't. So when you look at his posts, remember that each one is just a small part of a bigger story. It's interesting, right, how he shows us some things but keeps others hidden. As we learn more about Sheikh Hamdan, remember that his social media is just one part of who he is. It gives us a peek into his life, but there's a lot more going on that we don't see. Let's stay curious as we keep exploring his story. Let's pause for a second and talk about something a bit tricky in the lives of royal people like Sheikh Hamdan. It might seem like their lives are pretty simple and problem-free, but actually they're a lot more complicated. In royal families, the choices they make aren't just about them. They can affect their whole family, traditions, and sometimes even their country. We don't have exact details about Sheikh Hamdan's personal issues or big family decisions, but it's pretty common for royals to deal with this kind of stuff. Their choices can change a lot more than just their own lives. I want you to think about how tough it must be to make decisions when they impact so many people. It's a lot of pressure, right? When we look into the lives of royals like Sheikh Hamdan, remember that their decisions are part of something bigger. They're thinking about a lot of things we might not see. So whenever you hear about a choice made by someone like Sheikh Hamdan, remember there's probably a lot more to it. It's a really interesting and complicated world. Let's keep learning about it with an open mind. All right, everyone, we're coming to the end of our video, and I want to chat with you for a minute. We've just had a look at Sheikh Hamdan's life, a mix of being a royal, following traditions, and being part of today's world. It's pretty different from most of our lives, and it's been great exploring it with you. Let's remember, Sheikh Hamdan isn't just a famous person, he's got a whole country looking up to him, and he's always in the public eye. But what we talked about today is just a small part of his whole story. His life is full of things we see and lots more we don't. I hope this video made you think more about what goes on behind the scenes for people like Sheikh Hamdan. They've got really interesting lives way beyond what we see in pictures and headlines. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell so you won't miss our next videos. Keep asking questions and looking for answers. There's always more to learn. See you next time. Today, we're going to talk about a secret discussion between Sheikh Hamdan and his dad, Sheikh Mohammed. This talk might help us understand what's going on in their family now. Sheikha Tani told her father-in-law, Sheikh Mohammed, about what's been happening with her and Sheikh Hamdan. She also mentioned something interesting that happened between Sheikh Hamdan and Hadia Zen, his second wife, in Uzbekistan. This led Sheikh Mohammed and Sheikh Hamdan to have a private conversation. We don't know what they talked about, but it's important. Let's get into it and find out more about this story of love, secrets, and family problems.